Hello and welcome everybody to the PCDC Motorsports ACC League. I'll be your director and commentator today. My name is Stanislav Mail and I'm also known as Husky. Take a quick look here at the track we're racing at today, which is somewhat of a favorite of mine. We're racing at Suzuka International Racing Course, which is in the Mie Prefecture in Japan. The track has 18 turns, is 5.807 kilometers long, or 3.609 miles long. Of course, there is the famous S section and 130R on this track, and in general, quite a medium to high speed track. Yeah, definitely a favorite of mine. So let's take a look at the race format we will be using today. So the race format for today will be an endurance format. So we are coming to the close of our 30-minute warm-up. Then we'll have a 20-minute qualifying session, which is 5 minutes longer than the normal sprint format we have. Then we'll have a 90-minute race, and we have a mandatory pit stop, one mandatory pit stop throughout the race. Fuel and tires are optional, although I'm pretty sure everyone needs to take fuel, at least a bit, or they need to do some serious fuel saving. And tires are optional, so the drivers can literally go into the pit, get lifted onto the jacks, and go straight away again if they want to. But I don't think we'll see a lot of people doing that. And of course, we have a rolling start. Let's also take a quick look at the standings before we head into our last race of the season. So we take a look at the standings here. We have Vincent Erbrick at the top, who has already grabbed the title here with 152 points. He's already sure of his championship. He is present today, and I guess he wants to continue his good streak he's had, although he had a bit of misfortune last week. He has stuck it out, and I think he still had a podium last time around. Then an interesting change for position in the standings. P2 for Benny Benzel, which he, after the win of last race, he earned himself second position with Marcus Lawrence in third. So those will be fighting it out for P2 in the standings. Unfortunately, no one else is close enough to get on the podium, so between P2 and P3 will be between Benzel and Lawrence there. Then, as we drop down to best of the rest, you could say that spot is open for the taking. So 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th with one sick person, Thomas and Davies. Those are all positions for the taking. We have the likes of Tony Hurst in 8th with 53, Astles in 9th with 43, Harvey in 10th, Layson in 11th, the Knecht in 12th, De Witt in 13th, 14th we have Daniels, and then Short in 15th. The second part of the standings is Van den Hudding, Tuck, Phillips, Pratt, Smelt, Jung, Fredwell, Cooper, Day, Odegaard, Levente, Daly, Walsh, Astles, and Avis. Yeah, as you can see, anywhere from pretty much P7 to P14, those positions could all technically switch around if someone has a good race there. So it'll be very interesting to see that midfield fight, and especially the fight between Benny Benzel and Lawrence there in 2nd and 3rd. That'll be interesting to see how it pans out. And I think we are ready to head into qualifying here. 1 second, let me check. Yes, so let's switch over straight to qualifying. And there we go. As our drivers are on their out lap, you will see who can set the bar today. Seeing some interesting times in the warm-up, so see how that pans out. Yeah, I must say it's Suzuka is one of those tracks that just has so much history and so much character in the track. A really nice flow, some nice fast sections, and always provides good racing, especially with that massive slipstream heading up into 130R. Usually see a lot of battles going on there. Let me take a look who is already on their first lap. Our championship leader and winner of this year, Vincent Erbrick. I believe he got out pretty early, and he is running his first lap. I'm guessing he'll try to set that bar again today. Ooh, a little sideways there. Heading onto the long straight, bit wide as well. Doesn't look like the perfect lap so far for Vincent. Obviously, we have a longer qualifying this time around. 5 minutes extra for the drivers to get their lap in, since it's a 1.5 hour race. So let's see what kind of bar Erbrick sets here. Here. So Erbrick comes across the line 202 as we see Marcus Lawrence and Alpha Lobster behind there. Lawrence about 3/10 off. Alpha Lobster about a second off. Take a look here at our man in second. Oh, he's still in the pits. Someone else that's running their lap here, Paul Davies. Coming onto that long back straight. In the meantime, Wunsen getting his lap in about 2.4 seconds off. Levente also getting a lap in about 5 seconds off. They'll definitely be looking to improve. Also, the Knecht with a nice lap there, about 2.2 seconds off. As Paul Davies comes out of the last corner here, let's see what he can do. Ooh, Paul Davies with a nice lap. P4 for him, about 1.6 seconds off. Nice effort there. Who else is on their lap? Domi Person here. He had some decent results in the past races. I think if I can check real quick. Yeah, so Domi Person is 5th in the championship at the moment, so he's really pleased with that. Of course, he has that to defend that this race, because there is about 7 or 8 drivers behind him that if they have a good race, they can still overtake him in that 5th position. So he'll be looking to hold on to that. Let's see who else has gotten their laps in. Ryan Daniels as well. He's I think he's sat out about 2 races and getting a nice P5 there. Phillips in 9th, 2.5 seconds off. Falkenberg, which I believe might be his first race for Falkenberg here with PCDC. About 2.9 seconds off, closer to 3 seconds off. Tuck in 11th, Levente in 12th. So here comes Domi McPherson out of the last corner. Let's see if he improves. As he runs down to the line. Doesn't seem like an improvement for him. Let's see how our other drivers are doing here. Marcus Lawrence, for one, fighting in the standings with Benny Benzel directly for P2 and P3. But I am sure he's, if anything, he wants to take a race victory here, or try to take that from Erbach, who's been looking pretty strong during the season. Can he hook up this last section here? Looks like he does. Can he get anything more out of it? He runs up to the line, the shortest way to the line. See here. Slight improvement, only 0.2 away now, so a 1/10 improvement for him. Let's take another look here. Jordan Wansink. Nice improvement there from 8th to 6th. That is good. We do have a couple of drivers that haven't put a lap in yet. One of them being Benny Benzel, fighting for that 2nd and 3rd position in the standings. See what he puts in here as he runs down to the line. 1.9 seconds off, so about 8th position there. He'll definitely be looking to improve as well. Someone else that's improving here, Domi Person with a couple of 10ths. Might see him move up into 8th. 9th. About, oh, that is really close. Only about 0.2 off of, not even 0.2. 200ths off of Benny Benzel, so. The only person always been somewhat under the radar, I believe. He's not always had necessarily the best races or the best qualifyings, but he always seems to pull out some weird black magic where he either does a really good pit stop or some kind of strategy which puts him up right into that top 5 or battling for that top 5. So I'm sure we'll see something like that again today. See our leader, Vincent Erbach, is on an out lap, but yeah, again, the guys at the top, usually the case where they can only put about 2 good laps in, and they're not really improving at the moment. No one really is. It's a nice and sunny day here at Suzuka though, so maybe that has something to do with it. The track might be getting a little bit hotter. People might not be able to find that much more time. I think Hugo de Witt there improved quite a bit, only about 2 seconds off the leader. Someone still yet to get a time in is George or Georg Prebill, the McLaren. And looking at quite a tight battle at the top there between Lawrence and Erbrich. Seems like the Nissans of Wansink and Benzel aren't faring that well on this track here. I think everyone knows that the Nissan is not one of the top tier cars to be in, but it can surprise for sure in the wet and some tracks. It can really put up quite a fight. So. But not as much as an all-rounder of, let's say, like the Ferrari or the Mercedes, or the Aston for that matter. Those are all really good all-rounders. While Porsche as well, I think, is considered quite an all-rounder, but the Porsche requires insane amounts of setup work to make it work properly. Take another look here. Paul Davies moves up into 4th. Oh, as his car was flying there for a second. Really good effort from Paul Davies there. Only about a second off our leader, so really good. Someone else that is improving, Jordan Wansink. He'll definitely be looking to get inside that top 5 for his race start. I think Jordan is also always aiming for at least a top 5, and he's always trying to sneak onto the podium there. As he runs down the straight here, the back straight, he's 8/10 up. So we might see a really big improvement here that might put him up to 4th position, actually. Gets 130R right, he does. Can he get the braking right for the chicane here? Oh yeah, he put a good effort in there. Loses a little bit of time on the exit. Let's see what he can do here. Yeah, moves him up into 4th. Really nice. Good effort there from Wansink. Someone else, the other Nissan on the grid, also improving. So about 7/10 up for Benzel here. Ooh, as yes, that's braking for the last chicane a bit wrong there, I think. Lose a lot of time. Still about 4/10 up, but that could have been that could have put him in the top 5, I think, that lap, if he didn't mess up his braking there. Let's see at some other drivers that might be improving here. Georg Prebill. He is putting in quite a decent lap at the moment. Has quite an interesting livery there. We haven't managed to see. I think this might be only the second race of Georg here. He's been busy with other stuff, I think, but quite an interesting livery. Looks a bit like a British green, but has some chrome in it. I'm quite sure. British racing green, it looks like. See, as he's 8/10 up, this could shift him up a position here. He runs down to the line. Yeah, puts him up in 13th position, about 3 seconds behind. He pulls off there. Is there anyone that might be improving? Take a look here. Hugo the Whip on a quite a good lap, I think. In his black, white, and yellow Aston Martin. Actually a surprise because he's one of the few Aston Martins on the grid, which I think overall is considered to be a quite a good car overall, and surprised to only see a handful here as he runs down to the line. This will be a 6 or 7 tenths improvement, so might move up into 7th here or 8th. Yeah, 7th position for Hugo the Whip. Good effort there towards the end of this quali session. Look at someone else. Eddie Phillips here. Also coming down to 130R there, looking to improve. Ooh, a little bit. Break himself a little bit there on that on the last chicane there. About 3 tenths up still though for Phillips. Might see him take 11th here in the death. Yeah, there he goes. But about a less than a 10th difference there with Falkenberg. Yeah, not that many drivers improving their laps anymore. Seems like the majority of the drivers has gotten their best lap in for this session. Although let's take a quick look here at our championship leader, who has been quite on the button, you could say, for this season. I know Vincent takes a lot of effort into his setup work and preparing for the race, and it surely pays off when he does. He's looking at quite an improvement so far. About 3 tenths up as he heads into 130R. Thanks for the notice there, Rubix. I'm a bit under the weather today, so it's hard for me to process all this stuff. Not sorry for Caps, yeah. Can believe it. So Vincent Derbrick, oh yeah. About a 3 to 4 tenths improvement there. He actually is able to get in the 59s right at the end of our session here, which will give him quite a lead here. So most of our drivers are in the pits. 2 minutes for people to get their laps in. And Vincent Derbrick is actually, he hasn't done enough here, he feels. He kept going to put in another lap, which he can do. And he actually will be able to get it in. And he's actually looking to improve even a tiny bit more. Having said that, now he's running even with his lap time again, so... Oh man, he is, I think he pretty much, gets the most out of this Ferrari. He's really in tune with this car. Here, as he comes down to 130R, he's just looking to... Oh, pushing a little bit too hard there, but it doesn't matter. Vincent Derbrick takes pole at Suzuka here. Alright, so our race will be starting in about 5 or so minutes. Then we'll run down the grid. And I will be right back with you. We'll take a small break here. So see you in a bit. Alright, we are back as our drivers are on the warm-up lap here. There's Vincent Erbrich in the lead here. Take a quick rundown for the rest of our grid. So, Erbrich in first, and we have Lawrence second. Pull him up. So, Marcus Lawrence in second. Alpha Lobster in third in the Honda. Then we have Paul Davies in the Ferrari. Gordon Wansink in fifth in the Nissan. Ryan Daniels in the Porsche in sixth there. So quite a nice livery there. In seventh we have Hugo de Witt in the Aston Martin right there. Benny Benzel in the blue and yellow Nissan. We have Martin de Knecht in the Porsche. Domi Persson also in the Porsche in 10th position. Eddie Phillips with quite a decent qualifying there in 11th position in the Ferrari. And Samuel Falkenberg, as the camera still needs to switch over. Falkenberg there in that, ooh, what colors are that even? Blue, red, and turquoise or something. That's and red wheels. That's an interesting choice right there. And Joris Prebill in that British Racing Green McLaren. We have Harvey in the Mercedes, Colin Tuck in another Ferrari, and to round out the grid we have Kovacs Levente. So as our drivers come down to the back straight here, you can all see them furiously trying to get some heat and pressure into the tires. Of course, Vincent Erbrich is already our championship winner, so with this final round he'll be looking to kind of solidify and make even more of a statement, I believe. Again, Marcus Lawrence, of course, probably gonna try and take that away from him. So as we see the grid bunch up here, everyone getting in their formation for a 90-minute race here at Suzuka. Through the last chicane here, everyone nice and tight together. Any surprises this race here? Come down to the start-finish straight. Now we wait for the green flag. A long run down to the line here. Going any second now. And we have a green light for round 8 at Suzuka of the PCDC Motorsports ACC League. And Marcus Lawrence with a really good start there, I think. Oh, and ooh, trouble at the back, trouble at the back. Marcus Lawrence into the lead, really good start. Let's see what happened at the back there. Oh man, I think Benny Benzel was involved in that. Let's take a quick rewind there. Look at the replay here. What's going on here? Into turn 1. Oh, two teammates there of Persson and the Knecht just kind of move into each other there and collect quite a bit of other drivers there. Wow, what a shame to start off a race like that. That is quite a shame. Benny Benzel with heavy damage there. Continued back to the front of our race though. See here, Marcus Lawrence with a really good start there. Seems like he might have surprised Vincent Erbrich there a little bit. as we all know as well, once you're in that dirty air of someone behind you, it's can be quite hard to catch up if you're similar in pace. Yeah, Rubik's, I think so as well. Might be some altercation later. They're gonna jump out of their car in the pit and start throwing their helmets at each other. And it's just gonna be a matter of who pays the most to be in that racing seat, you know? Marcus Lawrence, though. Very good first lap there. Actually extended the gap a little bit to Airbrick, so not looking too bad. Let's take a look a bit further down. Had this overtake, I believe. Colin Tuck that just overtook Rudy Gill, maybe. Put the width there. See who is running quite close together. Freewheel here and Colin Tuck. Ooh, Freewheel runs a bit wide there. Not sure if he just got overtaken, but looks like he was collected in that first incident there as well, looking at the scratches on the front of his car. Yeah, what a shame for that to happen at the start there. Let's see, who took the brunt of that, which I believe... Yeah, let's see here, Benny Benzel unfortunately already withdrew from the race. Yeah, that's a really unfortunate start for Benny Benzel there. Definitely in a 1.5 hour race. It's 1.5 hours is a long race. You can make a lot of stuff up, but if you have a heavy impact like that, you spend too much time in the pit. There's little you're gonna make up in 1.5 hours time with that kind of impact. We can see Eddie Phillips as well. Unfortunately, has seemed to have gotten quite a bit of damage from that. He's in the pit as well. Look here, what is going on? You go to Wits. Oh, I thought he was a bit closer to the people in front there. What else involved in the altercation there? Domi Person. I think I see a tiny bit of damage on his left flank there. Maybe Domi was the one that got somewhat pit maneuvered there. But yeah, definitely a shame to start a endurance race like that. Maybe it'll allow for some good racing towards the middle or the late parts of the race here. So never know. See someone here. Colin Tuck seems to be catching up a little bit to Prebiel, which I think they switched positions again, so might be more a matter of who's making the mistakes in this situation. As we see Eddie Phillips, ooh, Colin Tuck, quite sideways there. Yeah, the Ferrari, hard car to keep under control. And you have to do pretty much all the rotation with the on and off throttle for that car, so hard to keep under control sometimes. Let's see here towards the front again, as the battle for first place will be heating up again between Airbrick and Marcus Lawrence. No, the McLaren struggles a little bit on the straight, and the Ferrari definitely taking advantage of that. Airbrick slowly closing up here. Let's see if Lawrence can actually keep him behind. So you look in the background there, we see I think these positions were all unchanged, with in third we have Alpha Lobster, Paul Davies in fourth. Then Wanzing in 5th, and in 6th we have Daniels, so I think those were pretty much all unchanged positions. They've managed to hold on to their positions at the start there. So I imagine they weren't involved in the kerfuffle at the back. You see again though in this section here, Erbrick is struggling to get much closer. This will be because of the dirty air, of course. Seeing that he is does seem to be closing up there to the back of Lawrence. Question now is though, I doubt we'll see him go for an overtake here in the tight and twisty sections, but yeah, the McLaren really struggled on the straight, so might see something happen here soon, heading into 130R. If Lawrence can set himself up for a decent exit here. Again, Erbrick, look at him closing up. Wow, the speed at which he's closing up to Lawrence there. You can see again in the high speed 130R there, Erbrick has to hold off a bit more in that dirty air. Allows Marcus Lawrence to hold on. But under a lot of pressure from Erbrick. So far, Lawrence holding on there. You can see mid-corner there, Erbrick closing up to the back of Lawrence there. Really making up a lot of time in the corners even in that dirty air, so... You know, Lawrence not letting Erbrick behind him distract him. We can go on board here with Erbrick. As you can see, there's not much between these two. A really long race though, so we can see a lot happen here. Yeah, you can see Marcus Lawrence there just trying to give Erbrick the least amount of slipstream. Of course, it's really hard to not do that. But you can see here the high speed 130R Erbrick definitely seems to be struggling a bit. Maybe a little bit of that Ferrari instability getting to him in the dirty air there. I think we'll see this battle continue for quite a bit longer here. They run down the start-finish straight here. Take a look here at someone else that is closing up. Jordan Wansink seems to have been closing up a bit to Paul Davies here. He's only about half a second behind. Still definitely one of my favorite liveries, I think, this season. Jordan Wansink, that nice kind of, don't know how to say it, like ice blue or something with white. Looks really good, and the accents on the rims as well. I like it. Struggling a bit more in the second sector here, Wansink, it seems. Ooh. I got a really good run though into the hairpin here. Paul Davies go defensive. That will surely compromise his line. Ooh, as Wansink runs a little bit wide there. Not getting a great exit himself, but these two look to be fighting quite a bit as well for this race. Ooh, Paul Davies there. Also getting a bit squirrely on the exit and to the back straight. Here's usually where the GTR is strong on the straights. Quite a nice line there from Jordan Wansink. Taking up quite a bit of time there in the braking. That will surely be a battle to keep an eye on. And look at the front here again as these two, Lawrence and Eric, still going at it. Gap just hovering in between that 3/10 to half a second mark. But again, very hard in the dirty air. If you have similar pace, it's very hard to get that extra little bit to overtake the other person. This rate, though, will be a defensive race for Lawrence the whole way through. Then again, he's keeping somewhat of a comfortable gap. Eric is not close enough to make a move, so as long as Lawrence keeps doing his thing, he might be able to steal this victory away here. Just has to make sure that Airbrit can't go into hot lap mode, because we've seen it before what he can do if he has clean air in front of him. Later down the race as well, we might see traffic coming into play there, and we'll see how these two manage it separately there, and that might come into big effect there. Again, really, Lawrence really getting those exits down. It seems just giving him a slight edge on the straight where the car itself is quite weak. You can see Airbrit closes up quite a bit there on the straight. Did a little bit of a wide line there for Lawrence. Squirrely to the S section there, but this section here is, you'll hardly ever see a move happen here, or unless one of the drivers gets it really wrong, so it's just one of those cases where you have to set yourself up to make a move later in the lap. Yeah, these two have a great battle going on there. And good exit there from Lawrence. Eric not quite able to close up, so yeah, this is gonna be a race-long battle, it seems. Quick look here. Nothing is gonna happen so far. George Prebill made a little bit of a mistake. Oh yeah, he ran wide. Fortunately, the replay isn't long enough, but he's lost about 3.5 seconds going off the track there. Which allowed Domi Person to close up to him again. Yeah, these two running quite close together. Only person about 3/10 behind there. See if he can do anything with the slipstream. Good last chicane there from Bill. Good exit as well. Creates a little bit of distance for himself going into the first turn there. Look here. Front again. I don't really want to move away from this fight here because this is a really close one. Only 2/10 behind here for Vincent Erbrecht. As now he's seems to be a little bit closer than any other lap. If he can set up a good exit here, he might be able to somewhat of a move again for this section. It seems to be really hard for Erbrecht to keep a nice flow through there, you could say. He's just struggling in the dirty areas and it's pushing him wide. Good work from Lawrence so far. No lapses in his race so far, so doing really well here. Holding on to that first place. He'll be for sure looking to hold on, even if he has to fight the whole race for it. I'm sure he can do it. Here, this other fight. Only person again, quite close to Pribil here. As we see his teammate, the Knecht there, who is taking the brunt of that initial incident there. Just damaged. Udomi person quite close here. Can he get a good exit out of this last turn? He does. Sets him up really well for the straight here. Oh yeah, we're definitely seeing a move here as he pulls alongside on the inside. Only person going for 10th place here. Oh, as they go side by side into turn 1, Pribil running a bit wide. Looking for the cutback. Slightly defensive from Domi person. But Pribil is not done. He's looking to fight back. Closing right up there to the back of Domi person. But definitely Pribil is pushing his car. As you can see the dust kick up a little bit and running on the grass. Domi person creates a little bit of distance now going into the hairpin. Oh, as we see a fight in front here between Harvey and the Wit. Let's take that back about 10 seconds here. Yeah, the Wit goes for a move on the inside and pulls it off. Didn't seem like Harvey wanted to fight that much for it. So a switch in position there. I think the Wit into 8th and Harvey into 9th. As Domi person gets a good exit here to the back straight, he seems to have pulled a quite a gap now to Pribil. Going into 130R again. Someone ran on the grass there. Ooh, a little bit wayward it seemed for Domi. Might have just been connection though. A little bit of hop there over the chicane curves. Look here again. Let's take a quick look at the front here. These two still going hammer and tongue at it. Again, air brake close, but not quite close enough to make that move. Definitely an interesting fight to keep in touch with here. I mean, if we see these guys going the distance for an hour and 10 minutes more, this will be a really good finish. We'll have to see, of course, if they practice their pit entries and pit exits and all that kind of stuff, because that can make a huge difference in the race. If someone can get their pit stop exactly right, that can save a lot of time. Brake closes right up into braking here. But Lawrence again with a pretty good exit here. Yeah, these guys just going at it. Really good start from Marcus Lawrence there. Really good for him to get the advantage over Airbrick there at the start. Probably given him quite a confidence boost as well. Again, Airbrick quite close. See in the second sector here if you can goes up to Lawrence. As he gets quite a good run, we might have to see Lawrence get defensive here. Ooh, slightly alters his line there. I think would have been a good choice. Airbrake definitely closer than he's ever been so far. See if we can get Lawrence can get his exit right here, going onto the back straight. Good, but Airbrake also has a good exit. And with the gap being less than 4/10, the slipstream, we might see a move here. We're really close together. Airbrake runs a little bit wide on the curving there. Not quite close enough, it seems. Yeah, Marcus Lawrence doing a really good job to maintain that gap. Look at another fight that's going on here between Gordon Wansink and Paul Davies. They've been accompanying each other quite some time now during the race here. Always been less than a second between these two as well. So far nothing's gonna happen here, but take a look at Domi Person here. 10th. Looking to make a move on Harvey here as he pulls alongside. Harvey gonna put up a fight? Doesn't look like it. Looks like Harvey is comfortable giving that position up. Your free bill here. I think actually Harvey... Yeah, Harvey just letting drivers through here. I don't think he's in the mood for fighting. Only person now with quite a bit of a gap. And look here. Again, seems like a little bit wide there for Jordan Wansink, but he's able to get quite a solid line out of the heading onto the back straight there. Back to the front here, and a lot of action going on at the moment. But I really wouldn't want to miss if an overtake happens here at the front. Or if some kind of battling goes on. Air brake again, wide up to the back of Marcus Lawrence. Look here as they go through the S section. Again, the drivers have to make one pit stop this race. They can do it whenever they like. Fuel and tires are both optional. So for some drivers, it could literally be a stop and go almost. It'll be one of those cases of, is anyone saving fuel? Because for all we know, Vincent Airbrook might just be saving fuel to then do a an overcut or another. Ooh. Marcus Lawrence goes offensive, which he has all right to. Vincent Airbrook taking somewhat of an avoiding action there. He was setting up the move. The battle is getting heated. Exit there again for Marcus Lawrence, trying to pull out of that slipstream. Ferrari doesn't seem to have that much of a top speed difference here compared to the McLaren. Maybe the BOP is contributing to that. Yeah, this fight is looking to keep going for quite a while here. We go back to Domi Person and Bjork Prebill. Just these guys keep on switching positions here. Slightly wider exit there out of the corner for Prebill. Yeah, these guys are, they're in some heavy fighting at the moment. See the teammate of Domi Person there in the back with his bloodied horse, you could say there. A lot of scrapes and dents in that one. Person again having quite a good run out of that last corner, it seems. Happy to stick behind Prebill there, not going to make a move. But all this fighting these guys are doing, the Knecht is actually slowly catching up, even with a quite heavily damaged car, I would say. He's slowly creeping his way up while these guys are just having a scuffle among each other. Yeah, Domi Person closing up against the George Prebill. Looks like another driver here, Levente, going into the pit. Looking to probably just get his pit stop out of the way. The Domi Person here closing up to the back of Prebill again. See if he can set him up for a move here heading into 130R. I don't think he's quite close enough. No, you won't see that this time around. Yeah, Levente just taking his pit stop early, I think. Is there anything else going on? No, I think we just return to this fight over here. Domi and Domi and Prebill here. A little bit of a hop again over those curves. Prebill actually going for the pit as well, but I think he actually misjudged the pit stop there. I think he might have not practiced it, but the line is actually further down, and I saw him slow down already at the first white line, which is not the pit entry line, I believe. This gives dummy person some clear air, so he'll definitely be looking to take advantage of that, I imagine. A look at a driver here. Colin Tuck, the gentleman driver of Priory Racing, teammate of Airbrick. As he making his way through. Not really in a fight with anyone at the moment, but running a clean race, so good going. The only question will be, of course, looking at next season, is he going to be able to invest again in the expertise and the skill, you could say, of Vincent Airbrick. See now one sync going in the pit as well. For the pit box, also trying to get a pit out of the way. He might be also looking for some clean air because he's been stuck behind Paul Davies for quite a while, and might just be looking to get some clearing air to get past with an undercut. Back to the front here. Man, oh man, Lawrence and Airbrick still going at it. Not an inch between these two. But Airbrick is quite close this time around. And set himself up for a move here. Looks like a decent exit here. Run down the straight. Again, Airbrick just car not having enough downforce to keep up with Lawrence there in the high speed 130R section. That's he needs a little bit more of an edge just to get past Lawrence, but he does close up on the start-finish straight there. Ooh, really good exit there for Airbrick. Right up the back of Lawrence now. So we've seen some drivers getting their pits out of the way in one sync, George Prebill and Levente there. Probably all took quite an early pit stop, I imagine. I imagine most people here will either try to run down their tank or ooh, a little bit squirrely for Lawrence there. Might have compromised his line going onto the straight here. Airbrick really close now. Look at this. There's only a single line through 130R for these cars. They both hook it up. But Lawrence has to go defensive. This might compromise his line going into the start-finish straight here. Oh, really? Ooh, Marcus Lawrence pulling into the pits. This will be interesting to see. good pit entry there for Marcus Lawrence. As Vincent Eberg now temporarily takes the lead. And it'll be interesting to see if he pits, how that is gonna match up with Marcus Lawrence's pit. But I imagine Vincent Eberg now in clean air is gonna try and make some kind of pace work. And just trying to look and overcut Marcus Lawrence there. Here's hoping for Lawrence that hopefully he's somewhat estimated his pit stop time and he's not gonna end up stuck behind someone. So someone we haven't paid much attention at, just been kind of running in no man's land, you could say, Alpha Lobster. I think goes by the name of Tony Hurst. He's been doing really good in his Honda here, running in 3rd position. I think if I'm not mistaken, the only Honda on the grid. So he's representing the brand. We see Eddie Phillips there in the green and white Ferrari pulling over there for Hurst there. Just good to see. But I think I saw a little bit of a wink there with the blinker. Lobster or Hurst. Well, Lawrence is now out of the pits. If I can get him up here. Yeah, so like I mentioned, he's now only a couple of seconds here behind Hugo the Wit, and this might actually compromise his run here, as I imagine we will see Ehrlich running out as long as he can just to not end up in traffic. So he was hoping for Lawrence this strategy doesn't bite him in the well, you know what I'm gonna say, but you know, bite him in the behind. I guess it's a good way of saying it. He's now obviously quite a bit faster than Hugo the Wit, and if Hugo doesn't pit this lap, he's gonna start losing time behind him, simply because of the dirty air already. I imagine none of the drivers will take new tires, because that would be too much of a time loss. Only might be a little bit of fuel extra they take. But I'm not sure if there is a minimum time on a pit stop. I believe there's a minimum pit stop time of 25 seconds, and if you take fuel, it's at least 5 seconds extra, so I guess people do take tires every time they pit. Not completely sure about that though. So yeah, as you can see here, just what I was thinking, Lawrence is struggling behind the Wit now, and of course the Wit in this position has every right to defend his position. And you know, this is costing Lawrence some dear time as he gets through, but you know, this is gonna be definitely a time loss of about, you know, a second to a second and a half for Lawrence, which could be the difference between Ehrlich and him in the pit stop. So far, we still see most people are out on their stints, which makes sense. I think we'll see most people just running out their fuel tanks and then switching on new tires and some lower fuel to get those fast laps in at the end. And you know, if you have kind of a no man's land you're racing in, you just have that clean air, obviously it's gonna be smarter just to not risk anything and keep running those clean laps. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see when some other people are gonna pit. let's see here. Someone in third position here, Paul Davies, just also just running his race there. About six seconds behind Alpha Lobster or Trini Hurst. Not been able to quite make up the pace, I guess, or not make up the pace, but not been able to quite close up to Alpha Lobster. Just seems to, they're running very similar lap times, so both running around the 2:03 mark, with Davies only a tenth faster this lap than Alpha Lobster. So yeah. But, you know, that could also develop in quite a battle. So let's go back here if Lobster doesn't hit here. Let's actually get a lap on board here with the Honda, which we haven't done this year yet.
Halfway through, not over yet.
There we go, that was the lap on board with the Honda there. I really like that kind of low RPM rumble that car is going on. Definitely an underrepresented car here in the league. I mean, very unrepresented, because I think Lobster here is the only one running this car this year. So we saw more people go into the pit now. Ryan Daniels and Falkenberg are going into the pit. We've seen the likes of Prebil and the Connect pit also, and Harvey, I believe, in the last 2 or 3 laps, as we see Domi Person also coming in. Yeah. Then just kind of waiting for Erberg here to see when he will go into the pits to see if how close it'll be between Lawrence and Erberg. So, about a minute and a half ago, we just had the halfway mark there. Ooh, Phillips gets a drive-through there. Don't know what would have happened with him. Take a look here at the replay. See if we can see anything that might have instigated that drive-through. Oh, he runs a bit wide there. Could that have caused the drive-through there? Don't see anything wrong except for that. Colin Tuck now also coming into the pits. Field is spread out a bit more, it seems, with these pit stops. But likewise, I think Erbrich has had a bit of traffic during his time at the front here, just simply because of back markers, I believe, or people making their pit stops and then coming out just in front of him. But yeah, interesting to see if we'll see Erbrich pit any of these following laps. There we go, Vincent Erbrich into the pit. This will be interesting to see here. So it seems to have gotten quite a good entry there. Now we'll be looking at Marcos Lorenz, see how they match up here in time of pit stop time. And it is quite a long stop, so it's at least 25 seconds that the stop takes, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Or actually, it might not be for this round. Not sure. Yeah, because you don't have to take tires, you don't have to take fuel, but... see here how close it's gonna be. So through 130R. Erbrich still not going. Marcos Lorenz coming through the last corner. Surely Marcos Lorenz has had a better pit stop here. Erbrich still in the pits. Yeah, for sure. Marcos Lorenz had a really good pit stop here, coming across the line. Created quite a gap for himself. As Erbrich only now comes up to speed. Marcos Lorenz has gained a lot by doing the undercut here. So interesting. Good strategy after all from Lorenz. He there. He's at least about 7 to 8 seconds ahead, I would say. A really good pit stop from Lorenz. Gives him a bit of clean air here, and as we see the Witt now, who's the second to last pit person to go in the pit here. We have the temporary leader being Paul Davies here. Running quite a long stint already. About a 50-minute stint. Compared to most people doing about 45 minutes. Even a bit less, some of them. As Paul Davies comes into pit now as well. Gets it slowed down nicely there for pit entry. And afterwards we can see where he filters out. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think there's about 7.5 seconds here between Erbrich and Lorenz there. You see Erbrich in the back there. Oh, only about 5 seconds, I was mistaken. So that's really interesting. There you see Erbrich in the back there. Seems with the pit stops, the race. Wow, Prevost with a mistake there. Take a quick look at that. Yeah, Prevost just going for a bit of a rally cross there. See what happened there. Oh, he's coming down the start finish straight. Oh, he just seems to carry a bit too much speed there into turn 1. Good thing for him to move that car out of the way. Yeah, good job from Prevost to not interrupt the leaders' their race there. Well, a bit unfortunate, but luckily there was no damage involved for him there. Only maybe a couple flat spots on the tires, but you know, that's probably the least of his worries. Yeah, we go to witness on his out lap here. Aston Martin. Is he still running in 8th? Yes, I think so. Running in 8th, about 8.5 seconds behind Falkenberg. Let's see here, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, if we go to Jordan Wansink here, I believe he has done the undercut on Paul Davies. I believe he was behind Davies before the pit stop, so strategy has worked out for Wansink as well, and he's now running in clean air, so that is good on him as he slides the back around a little bit. See, towards the front, Airbrick is making up time again to Lawrence. Last lap of Airbrick being a 2:0.7, and Lawrence being a 2:01.6, so 9/10 faster for Vincent Airbrick that lap. So it's definitely a battle that we'll see heat up again in the a couple of laps there. Jordan Wansink here doing a good job. I think he's actually creating a little bit of a gap towards Paul Davies there, so hold on to that 4th position. He has about 35 minutes to catch up to the back of Alpha Lobster or Tony Hurst, but that'll be hard looking at the pace. Hurst is putting down. It'll be tricky, I'd say. Take a look here at you know, during the race I always want to put a little bit of attention towards the back of the field as well, just because they're not running at the top end of the grid doesn't mean that they should be excluded. So Kovacs Leventi here, which has a very fitting team name at the bottom right there. I don't recommend translating that to English, because it brings back the PTSD for all PCDC members. But yeah, quite an interesting livery as well. But yeah, the blue and red kind of works, kind of doesn't. I think it's the green lights that put it off a little bit. Green LEDs at the front there. Doesn't quite match up, but I do like the dark red. Really nice color. But yeah, Levente just running his race. I don't think he picked up much. I don't think if he picked up much damage at the start there. At least I hope he didn't. But, yeah, just running his own race. I'm not getting in anyone's way, so, you know, doing a decent job. And I guess for a lot of drivers at the back as well, they're just looking to get that confidence and experience in, and, you know, as long as you can get the car around the track safely, you know, you're doing a good job, in my opinion. As he is... that Domi person? Yes, that is. So, I think we'll see Levente move out of the way here for a person. Just so. Job on Levente's part. Domi person has a clean run to turn 1 there. Take a look here at another one of our drivers near the back here, Eddie Phillips. Again, Eddie, you know, not necessarily the fastest driver on the grid, but he always seems to stick it out to the end, so really good perseverance by Eddie Phillips. And his what would you call that? Olive green and white and red there. Like an olive slash khaki kind of green. Yeah, just doing a good job. Colin Tuck as well. I've given him some screen time at the start, but he's still yet to pay me for last races for the screen time he got, so I'm not gonna give him too much today. Yeah, I'm yet to receive money from him, so yeah. I guess we'll just move on. Someone else I haven't really had in the shot. Harvey here. Also has just been kind of running his own race. But I think he also, if I'm not mistaken, might have picked up a little bit of damage at the start of the race. Or is this car just really dirty? That might just be it. But you know, running a decent race as well. I don't think he's made much mistakes. I think Harvey likes to keep out of trouble and, you know, doesn't always put up the hardest fight with people, so an overall safe driver, I think. Move further up here. Rebuild. Did he actually fix his car in the pit? Get the angle of the front of his car. I think he did, so he'll be running at his full race pace again, I believe. Yeah, not that many battles going on, so we're just gonna go straight to the front here again, as the in the past 5 or so laps, Airbrick has brought that 4-second gap down to less than a second. So I think we're gonna see a repeat scenario here of Airbrick being close to Lawrence here for the remaining time of the race. But about 30 minutes to go. Again, Vincent Airbrick, they're both running their own pace and running consistent laps, so Lawrence about 9/10 slower per lap than Airbrick. But again, dirty air can play a massive part in this race. And it is really hard as a driver that's following to make up that. Once you're within that second range, it is really hard to close up, so Lawrence can do a good job of just keeping it together. He has a really good chance of just grabbing the victory here. But Airbrick has been closing up at a really fast rate here. Again, Airbrush really closing up in that first turn. He just maybe is something brake bias related, but he really is able to close up under that in that first turn there. The first two turns, I should say. But again, you can see just how much he's struggling to actually get just close enough to pull that overtake off. He's into the hairpin again. Again, closing up right under braking. Might get a really good run out of the corner here. Yeah, good run for air brake there out of the hairpin. Lawrence just has his head down. Seems to not be paying too much attention what air brake is doing behind him, and just trying to basically keep him behind him for these 26 more minutes. And you can see here through 130R, really hard for Eric to hold on there. The Ferrari just not stable enough to keep it up under the dirty air there. So Lawrence maintaining the gap really well here. You can now see he's altering his line to prevent Airbrush picking up too much slipstream. I see a very different approach from the two drivers there into the turn. I think Airbrush is slightly faster there. Through that first turn, he seems to have more of a gradual braking zone all the way through the corner, while Lawrence seems to have two braking zones that he uses. So Lawrence brakes at the start of the turn and then in the middle of the corner, while Airbrush is braking throughout those or I should say first two corners. So Airbrush is braking all throughout those two corners, while Marcus is doing some more heavy braking, but he has less time on the brake, so interesting to see that. Airbrush now really close. Lawrence surely has to go defensive here. He does. Airbrush able to set anything up here? No. Really hard to get a move done there on the outside. Again, that hairpin is slightly banked, so always better to be on the inside for that one. But yeah, that's right there. They're just gonna go down to the end there. As I see now that One Sink has lost his position to Paul Davies there, so not sure what happened there, but I just want to keep fixed on this fight here at the front, as we're looking at a oh, Airbrush really close now, right up the back of Lawrence there. Oh, Airbrush goes for the move. Wow, wow, wow. What a move there. Will we see Marcus Lawrence coming back? In the slipstream, Marcus Lawrence gonna pull alongside. He is reaching out very wide. Tooth and nail between these two guys. Runs a bit wide there, Marcus Lawrence. Airbrush has gotten past, but Lawrence definitely not letting go here. Good run out of that turn for Airbrush though. if they're coming up to some traffic now in the form of Martin the Knecht. So let's see how that plays out here. Here, Herbert created a little bit of a gap here. Going down 130R. Again, Lawrence just seems to be quite a bit faster there to 130R in that fast section. A little bit more stability in the McLaren, I think. Yeah, that might have been Lawrence's only opportunity there to defend for that position, as Airbrig has now pulled out nearly a second gap there. Yeah, you can see visually there how far they're apart now, so I think that was the only chance for Airbrig, or for Lawrence to defend this position there. Somewhat what I predicted. If Airbrig can get that clean air in front of Lawrence, he, you know, would have pulled away, and that is exactly what he's doing right now. Though I can see Airbrig being held up a little bit here by the Knecht, who now moves out of the way, but it's definitely Airbrig definitely lost a bit of time there. The same happening there with Lawrence. Yeah, the Knecht moving out of the way from Lawrence there as well. Brings him a tiny bit closer, but I don't think see Lawrence coming back from that one. Yeah, the Knecht still running with a somewhat damaged car, I think. Not doing a bad job in 10th position. About 20 minutes to go. Lawrence still within a second of Airbrig, but be a tough call for him to pull alongside him here. But you know, don't know how the tire situation is holding up for both drivers here, and see that might play a bigger part towards the end. Take a look here at OneSync. I believe traded positions again with Paul Davies, but seems to be somewhat closing up again. Up to Paul. Paul running a couple laps a bit slower now in the 203s, while OneSync has just done a 202.3 as his last lap, so slowly closing up. Definitely a battle that is forming. Interesting to note, though, it seems that a lot of our best of the rest runners here, from 4th to about 6th, are actually pace-wise not doing doing too bad here as they're running someone even with our second place runner, which is Maurice Lawrence. Fight that we could see develop as well, depending on how hard Wansink and Davies, depending how hard Wansink and Davies are gonna fight over position. They're actually catching up to, I think Alpha Lobster a little bit in front, although very similar lap times again. Paul Davies now put in a lap that's about 3/10 better than Jordan Wansink, so very similar pace between these two. We still have lost only one driver in the form of Benny Benzel. It's good to see. He's unfortunately had to disconnect after really heavy damage in the opening lap. Heading into turn 1, I think he took the worst of that whole incident, which is a shame. He was definitely looking to run in that top 5 kind of area as well, so. About 16 minutes to go here in the last round of the PCDC ACC League. We'll see if the drivers can maintain their focus here towards the end. Of course, they've been going for an hour and 15 minutes already, and here's where we might, start to see a couple of little mistakes from drivers here and there. Hard to keep a focus for 1.5 hours straight. Wansink again, closing up quite a bit here. Davies. Ooh, now with traffic coming into play, this will might give Wansink here the chance to close right up. Preble moving out of the way for both drivers there, good to see. But I feel Wansink really got the better of that one there. Gap is definitely closing down. Only about 1.1 second between Wansink and Davies now. Let's see if we can go on board for a little bit. I really see that, don't know if the GTR is BOP'd in a way on this track, but normally it's runs really well on the straights here. Some good high speed stability, but I think Wansink flipped the curb there, tiny bit on the inside of 130R, and that gave him a bit of a bad run through that corner. See towards the front now, Marcus Lawrence actually put in a faster lap with a 2:01.4 than Vincent Erbrick with a 2:01.8, so again, tire wear might be starting to come into play at these late stages of the race, and maybe if Marcus Lawrence can keep his cool, he might be able to close up here. Yeah, not much between Wansink and Davies here. They're matching each other for pace here. So we'll see how that turns out towards the end. And no real fights going on at the moment, as we're in the closing stages of the race. See about 5 more laps, I think, after this one. What happened here? Prebill is in the pit again. Might have picked up a little bit of damage here or there. Not sure. Maybe his tires got I remember he had that that half spin through the first corner. Maybe the tires and the flat spots are just causing a lot of vibration. Don't know if he's gonna go out again. But there's no real fights that are gonna be happening anytime soon, so let's just go on board with our leader here, Vincent Airbrick. Who's actually losing a bit of ground to Marcus Lawrence now. Lawrence really putting in a good effort here, trying to catch up again after he lost that position. So 201.98 for Airbrick and a 201.4 for Lawrence. So half a second gained for Marcus Lawrence that lap. And if he can hold this together, he's on to retake that first place there, but Eric really putting in the effort here. I wonder if he's struggling on tires compared to Lawrence. Maybe the McLaren just performs a little bit better on low fuel. Maybe Lawrence is just putting in a really good performance at the end here. But yeah, Lawrence really pushing that car, it seems. Only thing we will have to see is if Lawrence, once he gets in that 1 second range, if he'll be able to close up even further with the dirty air. Airbrick runs a bit wide there. Might compromise his front a tiny bit. Yeah, we might see quite a battle towards the end here. And about 1.5 seconds between the two here. But Lawrence really pushing, as I see the gap is now down to 1.2 seconds here. Lawrence really pushing that car. to its limits, I think. And Eric might be getting a little hot now, because he's probably seeing that Lawrence is closing in his mirror. McLaren keeps on getting bigger in his mirror and not slowing down. About, we'll see about I think we'll see about 3 more laps after this one. It'll be interesting to see if Lawrence can catch up in that time. But it's after 1.5 hours of racing, that's gonna be a close finish regardless. Again, running a tiny bit wide there, Rick, just touching that grass. Which, you know, are the little things which can make you lose time into the next corner, into the next braking zone. And a little bit of dirt on the tires can really affect that. And like I said, Lawrence is now, he's in that area, he's within those 1.5 seconds or thereabouts. 1.2 now, and he's in that zone where you're starting to pick up that dirty air. Question is now, of course, can he catch up? Really tight there towards the outside for Lawrence. Has to be pushing that car really to its limits, as he's now within a second. As we'll see, 3 more laps at Suzuka here. It's all gotta come down to these last laps for P1 and P2 here. But man, Lawrence putting in a very remarkable effort here to catch back up to Herbert. The fight is heating up between these two. 8 tenths only separating the two. As Eric Shirley is looking behind himself in the mirror here. See if you can get a shot here. Just so you can see how little there is between these two guys after 1.5 hours of running. One's closing right up on their braking there. Both of them having a really good run. Lawrence closer than ever. 2 laps to go. Some traffic ahead there of the two leaders, or the leader and second place, I should say. Is that gonna play a part? That is gonna be the question. Give Lawrence again about a 7/10 gap here. I feel he's just that bit stronger through 130R. Yeah, look at that. Look at him closing up and under braking as well. There we go. Look at that. Right up to the back again of Arabic. As we head into the last lap here, we'll see the white flag, I'm sure.
Okay, your leader is on the final lap now. Give it one
Lawrence
lap.
now within half of a second. As these two are gonna battle right until the end here. Is Eric gonna hold on? Is Lawrence gonna make a move? And after 1.5 hours of running, having a first and second position so close to each other is quite a sight. Marcus Lawrence closer than he's ever been consistently putting in faster laps than ever here. And now we'll see as they're closing up to the back of Prebill. Will Prebill hinder any of our leaders here? He moves straight out of the way for this battle. It'll be interesting now because you can see Marcus Lawrence just 3.5 tenths behind over here. The last sector, Lawrence runs a tiny bit wide, but that might give him a better entry here. Going onto the back straight. And utilize any other slipstream. We know Lawrence is slightly better in 130R, but we see a move here at the end. I don't think he's quite close enough. It's a bit wide there. Eric going defensive. Run down to the line now. Wow, a nice try from Marcus Lawrence there. But Vincent Eric will go on to take the
Leader has finished the race.
take the win here at Suzuka. 1.5 hours of Suzuka. Wow, what I didn't think it would be that close at the end here. Once Eric pulled into the lead there, I thought he'd be gone and we'd never see him. But Lawrence, a really good effort there to come back strong at the race there, and only finished 3 or 4 tenths behind Eric there. So really good effort. As we see now, Alpha Lobster here going through the last chicane, looking to finish as well. A nice third position for Lobster there. Guessing he'll be happy with that. There are the flashing lights. Pleased with the result. Good look here at Paul Davies. Also had a very good race there in 4th, with Jordan Wansink right behind him in 5th. Then Ryan Daniels here. We also see the likes of the Knecht, Prebill, Levente, and Tuck have already finished. Just looking at a couple more people in the finish here. Ryan Daniels in the blue and white Porsche. Kind of had a quiet race, I think, but good effort. 6th place, not bad. There we go. 2 more looking to finish here as he comes through the last corner here. Falkenberg in 7th. Don't think he'll be disappointed with that one. Quite a good result there. Then the last one to come across the line for the last round of our championship for this season is Hugo the Whip. Let's actually see now that the race has ended if we can pull our championship winner here into the broadcasting booth. Let's take a look here. Hello there.
Hello.
So Vincent Erbrich, championship winner. Of course, we already knew that last race, but looks like this race. First, I want to congratulate you, of course, with the
Thank you.
championship win.
What a race.
Yes, that's what I was gonna ask. It looked once you made that move somewhat towards the second half of that race. I thought you would run away with it, but it seemed like Lawrence made a really good effort at the end there to claw back
Me
some time
too.
on you.
Yeah, I thought exactly the same thing, but I don't know, he had the secret curse button or something. That's crazy. But that was one of our closest races we had between me and Echo. I hope we will see a lot more of these in the next season.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Yeah, and for the rest of the rounds you did, it really looked like you had a lot of pace in the Ferrari, and I imagine you put a lot of setup work into it and spent a lot of hours on practice. Or how does that work for you? Do you put a lot of time in?
I put maybe a bit less time than the other season into practice, but what was I saying?
Just
yeah.
the setup work and the practice. How
Yeah,
does it go for
I
you?
like this track a lot, so I just drove it for fun in the multiplayer races and everything. So I already had a setup before then. But yeah,
Yeah, that's
and
good.
I have to say it's crazy how good the dirty air is simulated in this game. Like you really felt the understeer, especially in the SS section. Really well done. Like
Yeah, I noticed that at the first half of the race there, you were closing up fast to Lawrence, but then as soon as you got within that 1 second or 1.5 seconds, it was really hard for you to keep the car stable, especially through parts like the S section and the 130R. It seemed that it was just really hard to keep the car
oh yeah.
to follow there.
It was I was getting crazy honestly, and then it was also degrading my front tires faster, so it was getting worse and worse. And also I got 3 warnings for cutting the track, so then I was really scared to get a drive through, so I was
Oh yeah.
taking no risk at all into 120R because it's so easy to run a little bit wide and get a penalty there.
Yeah. Well, it's been good seeing you race this season. Are you gonna go for the Ferrari again next season? You think, or is it gonna be a different choice?
For the moment, it's a top secret of the Priory.
Ah, yes.
But we will have a joint press release soon with my teammate Colin,
Yes.
and
Yes.
for the moment it's a top secret development.
Yeah, I imagine. Has he offered you? I imagine he has then offered you a $1 million contract again for next season.
I actually asked for a raise this time because I was seeing that my teammate was not helping me crash into Echo enough
Ah, yes.
when he was lapping him. And so, as he didn't want to do that, I asked for a raise to compensate.
Yeah, that's only fair, I think, for you to ask for that raise. But yeah, I think I'm gonna congratulate you again, and I'm gonna pull our second place Marcus Lawrence in here. But thank you for joining, and it was
Great.
a really good season for you. Congrats.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And thank you for doing this live stream. It's really great.
Yeah, no problem. Been really fun doing it.
Nice.
But yeah, congrats, and see you later.
See you.
Hello there, Mr. Lawrence. Are you here? Seems like our second place finisher is not here at the moment, so we'll pull someone else in.
Yeah, it's when people go past me and they say thank you, and I
I
want to
pulled
say
you in the
like,
commentary booth here,
don't reach the button.
Mr. Priory Racing, I should say, right?
What was that? Sorry, say again.
I pulled you in the commentary booth here for an interview. So, how did the race go for you today?
Yeah, it was my usual story. Quite a lonely race, really. Running around at the back, waving to people as they went past me, as I usually do. You know, but we finished. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. We finished. I don't. A couple of points towards the team, but I think we'll have to say well done to Godzilla Racing. I think they've taken the team title.
Yeah, I'm not sure about those standings, but I mean, your primary driver there, Vincent Erbich, taking the drivers' championship. Of course, last race already. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, Vincent's been a major signing for Priory Racing, and we're really glad to have him for next season as well. He's helped me as a gentleman driver to well, try and improve, but at least I'm a bit more consistent now. But yeah, it's a shame I can't support him anymore. But yeah, he's a real star in Priory Racing. We're really glad to have him for this season and for next as well.
Yeah, I've heard in the interview he just gave, he's looking for a raise of his $1 million contract because he feels that you haven't quite assisted him in crashing Marcus Lawrence off the track like something that was discussed before. So
yeah, I when Vincent came past me and I saw that Lawrence was close behind, I thought, well, if I stay on the racing line, I might make it difficult for him. But unfortunately, ambition over talent enabled him to get past quite quickly. So
right.
yeah, no, well done.
Yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure seeing you guys race this season, and looking forward to see you guys on track next season as well.
Yeah, who knows? We'll have a word with the parishioners. We'll try and get some more donations to the Priory and see what we can do.
All right. Been a pleasure.
Yep, cheers.
Mr. Lawrence, are you here? He is still not here. I guess he's destroyed by that by that second place then. See if we can pull one more person in here. Hello? Sedian, are you here?
Hey, yes.
Alright. So, how did the race go for you?
I was surprised about my pace, to be honest. I think I very quickly managed to put in a faster lap than my qualifying. But Raz overtaking me on the first two corners put me back on Paul Davies. And then I was immediately like a step behind to fight with him. I tried to catch up, but getting close to him gave me dirty air in the high speeds. And I couldn't get close enough, so I had to do something. So I tried the undercut, but I got way too much fuel on my pit exit, and I burnt my rear tires completely. By the time Davies got out of the pit, but yeah.
Yeah, so because I thought I was thinking that you actually pulled ahead, right? During like after the pit stops.
Yeah, when he got out, he was behind about 2 seconds.
All right, yeah, because I saw that on the relative, but I wasn't sure how it happened. I thought it was the pit stop, but then later on I did see you drop back again, so that was a shame. But
yeah, I made a mistake in the S's. Just stupid, yeah.
yeah. And I think if Colin Tuck was right, I think you and Benzel took the team standing,
Yeah, that's probably
I
correct.
think. So
Yeah.
congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And I think you guys put a quite a good effort in with one of the, I guess what is considered of the current cars is one of the lower tiered cars.
Yeah, definitely. After the chassis flex update, it has not been the easiest to set up and prepare for a race.
Yeah. I guess the only redeeming factor for the GTR is the rain, where it can really shine.
Yeah. One race per season, huh?
Yeah. All right, it is a pleasure. I think I'm gonna wrap up the broadcast now.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep. All right, to everyone watching, it has been quite a season. So again, Vincent Airbrick taking our championship for this season after 8 races. It's been quite dominant for him throughout the season. Godzilla Racing with Wansink and Benzel have taken the team championship for the team standings. They've won that. But yeah, it's been a really fun season to broadcast. Only done half of it, but yeah, really fun experience. And if anyone watching the stream, that will also be later uploaded to YouTube. If anyone interested wants to join our racing league, we accept drivers from all skill levels, as long as you can keep the car safe on the track. Be sure to check out www.pcdc.link, and we hope to see you on the racetrack very soon. Goodbye.